what do you think is the role of the mass media in promoting peace? So I'd really like to know your point of view of that, and if Sadhguru can contribute to that as well, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, actually, that's a very important question, because I feel that the media have not done a good enough job of focusing on all that is happening around the world that is positive and that is working. Obviously, we're going to cover the crisis, the violence, the dysfunctionality, the corruption, but we've made a big point of also covering what is working. So we have dedicated sections that are called what is working in creating jobs, what is working in health. And by putting the spotlight on what is working, we can help scale it, because it helps people see where they may want to join and put their own energies. It helps them see that it's not all despair and hopelessness, which is one of the worst things we can do to ourselves. And we have a section, for example, which is just dedicated to good news. It's called our Good News section. And if you ever feel depressed, which I'm sure you never do if you're doing Sadhguru's yoga every day, but if you ever feel depressed, go to the Good News section, because it really lifts your spirits and it connects you with all the positive ways in which you can lead your life and make a difference in the world.
Today, the media is like never before in terms of its reach. Anything that happens anywhere can reach every human being on the planet, which is a phenomenal power to influence people. As Arianna said, definitely that power has not been exercised in a most responsible manner. When we say media, let us not just take the press or the television. There is cinema, there is other ways of internet, media, and of course, I don't know if video games come under media. But,
well, now everybody's on the internet,
yeah.
Even old-fashioned newspapers and magazines and TV,
So when such reach is there, I think they could do tremendous things in future. Till now, I think largely like children who found access to something, we've been excited about doing something, not bothering about what it does to people. I think a time has come that our excitement levels can be brought down and we can see what is the impact we are having on people, whether it's positive or negative, and accordingly adjust this. Particularly cinema and these other forms which are continuously promoting violence and expecting people to be peaceful. Somebody even has the gall to say, this is cathartic, otherwise people would be violent on the street, let them watch it in the cinema and it'll be over. That is not the truth. It is inspiring people to do things. We can't blame everything on somebody for what we do, of course, but still young minds are influenced by these things. I think a more responsible way of exercising this, because it reaches the whole world. You do not even know what all people it is reaching across the planet. When such a power is there, I feel it should be exercised sensibly. It's wonderful that you have a good news section. Actually, in India, in a major newspaper which sells over 2 million or 2.5 million newspapers today, per day, physical newspapers, I convinced them to bring in a good news section about 15 years ago. But that good news section initially got that much space, then got that much space, and then got that much space, and in about 3.5 years it just vanished. Not that good things are not happening, it's just that somehow the ugly things sell, the good things don't sell. So this is a cultivation of the audience also is important. Somebody's not going to print something if nobody's going to read it. Somebody's not going to make a movie if nobody's going to watch it. cultivation of the audience, there are school teachers and others and parents. I think we need to cultivate this from a young age that good is really good. Bad looks good for a day, but it is not good when it happens to you. It looks nice in the cinema, somebody shooting somebody, but when you're shot at, it's not a very great feeling to be shot at.
But also, we've discovered that it's not true that good news don't sell. Our good news section has a wait list for sponsors who want to sponsor it. The traffic is one of the highest traffic sites on the Huffington Post. I think…
I would like you to introduce to the newspaper owners
I
in
would
India.
love to talk to them. We are going to launch the Huffington Post in India, and we're going to have a very big good news section. And also, another point to your question is that we no longer have just big media companies having the power to communicate. The internet has changed that. You have the power to communicate. The mother that I mentioned who wrote a blog reached millions of people. That's what has changed now. While in the past that wasn't available, you had to kind of own the printing presses or have influence. Right now, anybody who has something interesting to say and can say it in a compelling way or in a humorous way, because humor is fantastic online, can reach a very large audience and have an impact.
That is a very positive and a fantastic change, that you don't have to wait for somebody to sell a newspaper to you. You can write and put it whatever you want, and even that needs a certain evolution, and people who feel responsible for what's happening around us should change that.